Hi, this is Kendra at Pencil and Pigment, and today I thought we'd just have a conversation and I would show you my travel watercolor supplies, my minimalist travel watercolor supplies. I try to travel with the least amount of stuff as possible. Depending on the trip and the activities, I try to travel with the lightest stuff as possible. So for hiking and backpacking and just creating in the woods and stuff, I try and go really, really light. So it's the end of World Watercolor Month, and I used up both these palettes. This is porcelain. It's very heavy. I just looked on Blick, it's about $9. So I don't travel with this. I will be purchasing a second one because this isn't enough. But this simple 6-wheel tray is the one I do travel with. And I thought I would just clean it up a little bit. When you watercolor on plastic, there's a lot of staining, especially with some of the pigments. Red especially can be very difficult. But I thought I would just clean it up. This palette, mind you, is only $1. So it's not like it isn't replaceable, but you know, if you buy things once and take care of them, then it's all money well spent, and you can spend your money replacing the watercolors that you use up, or the brushes where the bristles get broken and get older. So I'm just using, and here you can see, a magic eraser. And this is a great way to clean this, and also for my cup. So my larger cup that I travel with is the Faber-Castell, and it expands. And it has ridges along the top, you can see, and that's for when you set your paintbrushes across, they can sit. So it looks like it has a flower top. And I also clean this with a magic eraser. Okay, so I travel with those two things because they're very lightweight. I need to dump out my sack. Here is my brush cleaning. I have a larger one of these. This is the Masters brush cleaner and preserver. It smells faintly of lemon. And I take the smallest one possible because odds are, if I'm traveling really light and minimal, I'm not bringing huge brushes, and I'm bringing a smaller sketchbook. Anyway, I'm bringing probably an A5, which is about 5 by 8 inches. So I only need the tiny cleaner. And here is the bag I put everything in. This one's by Blick, but Jerry's Artorama, I believe, makes this style as well. It's a nylon mesh, and it holds wet water things very well. So, and these are really, really budget. I have these in multiple sizes depending on what I'm doing, but again, I'm trying to be as minimal and small as possible and lightweight. The other thing I take are my 4 travel brushes that come in a case. The case isn't practical. I take them out. Again, small, lightweight. So that's how I do that. For watercolors, I only bring one thing. That is my Winsor Newton Cotman. I always travel with this one. There is a sticker on it of a watercolor I did for World Watercolor Month back in 2017 or 2016. I'm not sure what year I did this in, but I did 5-minute watercolors because my kids were so young that I only had time to do 5 minutes at a time. But this is my Cotman, and I made a swatch card for it. I highly encourage you to make a swatch card for focus all of your watercolor supplies and palettes so you can see the colors. And this is the lightest weight one I have. This particular Cotman set doesn't have black, and I like that. It is a color limiting challenge to me personally. Sometimes I get decision fatigue, and when I reduce the amount of color options I have greater success, and it's easier for me just to get started. So limiting your color options sometimes can be really fun. And this is I used arches for this. I used the best paper I had for this, and then I did as dark and as light as each color would go so I could see. So that's the watercolor kit I bring with me. And what else do I bring? So I have my water, my brushes, my paints. I bring one tiny little towel, and this is the end of World Watercolor Month, so it definitely needs to be washed. But for this purpose, I'm just gonna pack it up. I bring a couple microns. So I'm gonna bring my sepia 05 and my blue black 05. And I will bring, let's see, a Jelly Roll white ink 08. One pencil, doesn't matter the pencil. This is just a cheapy HB from like Target or something. And then I will need a sharpener. So my Mobius Ruppert brass one probably is a bit too heavy. So I will look and see what sharpeners I have on hand. All their sharpeners are brass. They all have the screw, which you can unscrew and you can replace the blades. So this is why I buy these brass sharpeners. I want to replace the blades and keep using them. And these are about $8 to $9 a piece. I buy them off of Amazon. But again, we're pretending like there's no COVID. We're not in a pandemic. And I'm traveling the world here looking for a tiny sharpener, and I may have given them all up to my children. I have 3 kids, and we're homeschooling because of the pandemic and stuff, so Coom makes a nice little silver metal one. But this would be what I take. If it's something very specific, like I'm having a wild hair, I might bring a couple watercolor pencils. But other than that, this is all I need, and I'll link everything down below. I'll throw it in this bag. I don't really sponge anymore. There's room for other things in here if I change my mind and want to include colored pencils or a couple tubes of one-off things that I just can't live without, like my dioxine purple. This is M. Graham's version. I also have it in Core. But I have room in here if that's a thing I want to do. You can kind of see that that's thin and that guy's a little bulky on that end. But this is what I travel with. This is how light I keep it. And it's probably 2.5 pounds, I would guess, from holding it this way. So it still has a little bit of heft to it, but that is as much as I'm willing to sacrifice, because if I'm hiking in a long distance, I want as much water and things with me. I'll have a water bottle on me that I'm drinking from, and that'll serve as double duty for water for my wells and my cup and stuff. And I take really good care of my travel brushes, because for some reason travel brushes have a huge markup, I feel. And because they have the little case that protects them, I just don't want to replace them as often as I replace some of my other brushes and stuff that I'm really rough with. So this is what I travel with. Vlogmas was awesome. I wasn't sure I would be able to do it, and I did do it. I got through it. I realized that if I film in the mornings or afternoons, I can get a video done every single day, and I don't have to wait till the evening because there's just no time. And I also realized I have no idea what I'm doing with lighting. So this is natural light from my window, but it seems still really washed out. So I either need to, I mean, I can add light to this situation and really, I could really wash this out. You ready? You weren't ready. I wasn't either. So this is natural light, but it still looks a bit washed out to me. I made notes for, let's see, hold on, let me find them. My pages, all my pages have pages. I made notes for all the different videos I was going to do, sort of what orders, things I, excuse me, wanted to get to, things I didn't get to. So I didn't get to a lot of tutorials. And that's a shame. And I didn't get to the library either. But these are videos I think I'll record for August. If people are interested in watercolor topics, I will have that available as well. So we can look at some fun stuff together and try some stuff out with more prep time. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I'll try and talk to you all tomorrow. Happy end of July. Bye.